Hello, everyone. Thank you so much to everyone who has already joined us. We have a very interesting matchup for tonight. We have Vivacity facing off against what I would happily call a rival opponent tonight in Fallen Destiny. Without going in too much detail, let me just discuss the fact that Fallen Destiny are the team that Vivacity on stream beat in the grand finals of Expert Division at the end of last season. It did indeed go to a map 5. That map 5, technically speaking, got played 3 times, and Vivacity won it all 3 times. And so they made it to the grand finals. They faced off against Element Normal, who they have since played this season and beaten. They unfortunately lost to Element Normal, however, and then retroactively got demoted down to 3rd place instead of 2nd, and had to promote via the last chance qualifiers. Vivacity were able to do so, as they were formerly named Vengeance at the time. But were able to do so and make it into Masters Division. And since then, they've gone 6-1 in Masters Division. But as a result of what happened at the end of last season, I'm sure all of our players will be incredibly, wanting to win in this matchup. This will be, I'm sure, a hotly contested match. And Fallen Destiny, in the same likeness, I'm sure, will very much be wanting to dethrone Vivacity, to truly knock them off of the top spot of Masters Division, to let someone else take the true ascendancy of the division, but also to make up for themselves for how last season unfortunately went. They will be hoping that they can prove that their spot was truly earned in this rematch against our Vivacity roster. So I am very, very excited to be hosting this match for you all. For anyone who is unaware, I am Unchanged. I am the resident host, broadcast idiot, let's say, and voice of the Vivacity Esports channel. We thank you, as always, for joining us, and we are shortly to be getting underway with tonight's match. I can't tell you, it is our flagship Vivacity roster who managed to pull up with the first pick in tonight's match, and that map that they took us to is going to be Lijiang Tower. Let me just confirm that with you on screen. That is Lijiang Tower for our first map picked by Vivacity. Now waiting for the bands to come in. Unfortunately, the second band came in quite quickly, and I managed to miss the first one in doing so. Shout out to people in chat. I saw Elven Mage, MCH Bunny. I almost shouted myself out. And CK Pineapple. Yes, I did finally remember to give you mod. I've been meaning to do it for the past 2 streams at least that I can think of. So yeah. And in shouting out CK Pineapple, I will also mention, for anyone watching, please do follow us on all social media platforms. That is, if I pull us back to the 2-cam screen, you can see underneath on this right side, at Vivacity OW, that is our Twitter or X, and it's Vivacity_esports on YouTube as well, where we upload all of the VODs of the Masters Division teams matches, And any other VODs of any past streams we've done on the Vivacity broadcast and any VODs of future streams will also get uploaded on there as soon as we can get them exported. They uploaded in full 1080p 60 HD glory as well. I can confirm I'm still waiting on the teams to finalize the hero bans, and then we will be getting underway. To be honest, I should have just taken a guess at who Vivacity had banned. I'm mildly disappointed in myself for not guessing correctly. It was Farah. And then I believe I saw Lucio as the retaliatory ban from Fallen Destiny. I can confirm that is indeed what I saw. So, once again, Lijiang Tower is our first map. And the bans are Lucio from Fallen Destiny and Farah from Vivacity. Alright, so Vivacity running out on the Mauga comp. Diva from Fallen Destiny. There is also a cat on the field. Temper running out on the Emery. Bastion getting dropped in on the backline by the Jetpack Cat. Causing a little bit of chaos there for Vivacity. Now, let's see. Can Vivacity get things back under control? They do have the objective locked down at the moment. Vendetta from Makoto trying to demech Ninja Rifle. AJMR did take down Fern. Care was dropped. AJMR able to TP themselves out to safety. Vivacity still, though, with the point locked down. Jetpack Hack is going to go back to pick up Care on Vivacity. Fern, though, from spawn on their own, taking down Risk, who was trying to get that spawn hold on them. Makoto going clear to try and deal with that Bastion. Ginger Raphael stuck on point. Bastion of Care now gets taken out of the fight. And brought back in, but punishingly low off of some of that damage from Temper. Increasingly low now, playing around safe angles. Risk getting dealt with on this off angle. Fern able to force the recall, is low. TPs themselves to safety now. Bastion coming in from Care in the sky. Seemingly to keep themselves alive. Axe is low. Opts to use the cage to keep themselves up and get the DMech. AJMR dropping to Makoto as well. Bastion from Care out of the fight. Makoto took down Bron James there. Risk trying to stall. Vivacity now up over 80% in this fight. I'm going to see Temper shortly coming online with their ult here. There is that first kill and the ult invested. Now I'm going to be flying in to that backline. Going to look to do damage to AJMR. Makoto takes down 2 with their Vendetta ult. This is an overtime fight. There is the bomb from Ginger Raphael, but it won't be enough. Axe just stands there and face tanks it as Vivacity take the first point here. Captain, hello chat. Hello. Hello, Governor. Not quite the regional accent I have, although I don't really have a regional accent. Thank you again for everyone that has joined us. Vivacity making a good start here in this series, able to take the first map with a comfortable 100-0. As I said earlier, these are familiar opponents for the Vivacity roster, so we'd expect it to not be of too much concern to them. Temper still rolling out on the Emre. Care has swapped to match it. Ginger Rayfield is in on the Orisa now. Ooh, Risk able to find Fern early there. Recall forced out. Care jumping through. They are low. Axe takes down Bron James. AJMR drops to Temper. And somehow off of a fight where they got the initial pick, it is Vivacity able to take the ascendancy here. Care will drop thanks to Makoto coming in after winning that duel against Temper, but it's still Vivacity who take that first fight. Ginger Rayfell in a very advanced position. Support's just able to get back to match with them. Bron James low on that Brigitte. Forced to back out. Makoto able to escape with that block for the reset. Now we see the engage coming in. Morlock on the Juno, helping to keep that team alive. Temper looking from the high ground. Does get forced off of that initial angle as Axe now rotates to meet Ginger Rayfell and the rest of Fallen Destiny in server side. Point getting flipped by Risk, but not for long. Here comes the ult from Care. Axe is low, able to get forced down from Care here. As we see the Emre for Fallen Destiny able to take some space and allow the team to finally get the ascendancy here. So they get that cap locked in. Vivacity now going to have to think about how they take space here against this Orisa comp. Do have the Emerald online. There is the early Juno investment. It's matched though by Morlock, and then Temper able to take down AJMR. Rally invested. Bron James does get the kill onto Makoto. Risk also taking down Morlock, so Fallen Destiny winning the ult fight there with that secondary investment from Bron James. Burn not quite with the Kitsune Rush online in time to help in that fight. And Axe opting that it would be best not to engage. Now, rotating through server side this time are Vivacity. Trying to get that point flip. There's the Kitsune Rush early engage. As we now see Temper trying to survive here. Is able to get off just enough damage to do so. Fern takes down Risk, but Care found Makoto, so it's a DPS like-for-like trade there. Bron James in. There's the Orisa ult from Ginger Rayfield. Cage invested from Axe. Zone some damage out, but Care coming in with that Emre ult once more. Able to zone the Vivacity out. Temper does take down Care. They are back to 5v4. Temper harassed off the off angle by Bron James and the Juno of AJMR. Bron James though caught out as Makoto comes in to help their fellow DPS. Axe now able to walk it down on point. Fern takes down Risk in that backline in the meantime. And Vivacity finally, after Fallen Destiny, get to 98% here on this point, able to retake and get back underway with their defense of this objective and their attempts to win this map. Temper forcing the recall out early of Risk. Makoto able to follow up with their fellow DPS's damage will slow down the engage from Fallen Destiny, no doubt here. As we get past that 70% mark with Fallen Destiny already at 98% on their capture, we are heading dangerously close to last fight territory already. Here we see Risk rotating to try and get that point flip. There's the orbital laser out from Morlock to deal with the Bron James Brig ult. Point capture denial. Now ult from AJMR. Temper matching the ult. Lots of ult investment. Ginger Rayful able to take down Temper. Risk took down Fern. Axe does take Ginger Rayful and AJMR down. Morlock still able to survive here with Risk fighting on point. Makoto is low, finally gets taken down. Now the Emre ult from Care. Axe deals with Bron James, but now has to deal with that Emre. Morlock taken down by Risk. Pulse bomb out on Axe, but Temper back on the Tracer. Gets that first kill. Now Ginger Rayful swapped to the Bull just to try and contest. Has to deal with Axe, who has that Kitsune Rush on point. And now Vivacity need to just stop this cap from touching if they want to get the cap, and they do just that. And they're able to then win the first map 2-0. So that's the Lucio ban dealt with. And the first map cleared. Not too bad here for Vivacity. Care able to get that play of the game, but ultimately not able to do enough to enable their team to win the map here. Pretty good start for Vivacity in the end. Certainly not going to complain about going 1-0 in the series against, as I said, arguably one of our most heated rivals in Masters Division. Will be curious to see what Vivacity are able to pull out in the next map. Talking about next maps, we do already know where we will be headed. Obviously, second map pick going to the loser of the first map does mean Fallen Destiny got their choice here, and they opted to take us to the hybrid map known as Midtown. And in doing so, they also opted for the early Mauga ban. So as we know, Vivacity very much this roster a Brawl Mauga specialist team. So denying that early here from Fallen Destiny, trying to get themselves back level on the maps. I'm sure something that they will have deemed as important. Can't say we're having some minor technical difficulties here. I believe there were some mild ping issues regarding the lobby there. Blue Jay, hey, good to see you in chat again. I will get us into the game as soon as we are restarted. It has been paused. I believe it was Ginger Rayful that disconnected, but there were already some slight questions regarding the ping that I saw the players addressing. So we will just wait to see. Once again, Midtown is our next map, and it is Bastion and Mauga that got banned. I'll have to wait and see. Hopefully the teams will keep me updated on when we expect to get underway. Currently some questions regarding if they're going to be able to play on this server. Apparently there's some issues regarding the servers in general. Apparently there were some issues regarding warm-ups. Apparently the NA servers are dead, which is lovely. So apparently we are somewhat stuck playing on obnoxiously high ping. When I say obnoxiously high ping, I mean higher ping than even I tend to play on from NA. Because apparently they are currently at about 180 ping from what I'm seeing. So I'm on really good ping, but that's not really helpful. I'm not the one that needs to be on good ping. So first attack here, Domina from Ginger Ray fell. And it is Vivacity on the defense with the Sojourn from Temper. Care already taking out Axe. Means Vivacity going to be struggling to hold this position here. Care also finding Makoto. So Vivacity going to have to give up the position. Temper drops as well. Morlock on the Lucio now trying to escape. Axe has swapped to match the Domina.
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
TP up from Risk, already getting Fallen Destiny on to this high ground. Axe though able to take them out. Makoto just about going to survive with their life. Care does take down Temper again, though. The hit scan here for Fallen Destiny showing their lethality. Putting in some good work here on the Emre. Able to pump out quite a lot of damage. Already halfway through. Second point here for Fallen Destiny. Be invested early from Bron James to enable that engage. Then the Domina ult from Ginger Ray fell. Are able to take down 2. Fern with an exit frag onto Risk, but with Makoto the last alive and not able to take down Care. I don't think that's going to be enough, and I don't even know if they're going to be able to get out in time to get a retouch here. On second point, it's going to be close with Morlock and Axe. They do get there just in time. Then the ult comes out from Axe. He hits 3. Bron James, AJMR low. Bron James does drop here. Emery ult from Care. AJMR is down as well though, so no supports for Fallen Destiny. They do manage to TP out with the help of Risk to make sure their reset comes back a little bit quicker. Vasti opting to be careful of the potential back cap. Keeping Temper quite far away means they are limiting their poke value here. Good scouting though on that rotation from Fallen Destiny allows Vasti to meet them in this room. Still have to be careful. Risk's TP gives a lot of maneuverability for Fallen Destiny, and they do TP themselves back towards point now, investing that Symmetra wall. Care taking down Morlock. Temper with Ginger Rayfell in that backline does get the enemy tank low, but it's Fallen Destiny getting more of the kill feed here, able to keep pushing through.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Now going on the aggression once more, looking to try and punish Makoto here. Fallen Destiny using that TP to take aggressive space, but Ginger Rayfell getting a lot of damage there, forces them somewhat reset. Now they TP up to the high ground. Risk is kind of caught out up here. Does have Ginger Rayfell there to help them, but Makoto able to go up and engage. Fern and Morlock now meeting them up there. Ginger Rayfell doesn't get the beat from Bron James, so the engagement still coming out from Vivacity to try and clean up on Fallen Destiny here as Temper does take down 2 there. Now Vivacity able to reset on this engage. Random turret there. Annoys Temper just a little bit. Can we get... don't know about that. Elven Mage. Although we are looking for co-casters. But maybe not. Interesting TP here. Early ult axe gets caught. Vivacity able to keep their tank alive through that dominant ult. Now the Kitsune rush from AJMR. Morlock gets low. Care takes them down. And then builds their ult in doing so. Whole time Ginger Rifle has been low. Now the ult from Care is going to look to pump more damage into Axe. Gets them low. Beat comes out, but it's too late to keep Axe alive. Vivacity going to have to try and get some utility out of it. Makoto coming in. Ends up backing out somewhat. Ginger Rayfell still low. Makoto does survive that engagement. Vivacity now going to have to contest on the point here. Risk is low. TPs themselves to safety. Makoto gets burnt though by most of the Fallen Destiny roster. Axe struggling to survive on point here on the Domina. Does manage to stall out just long enough, but Risk and the rest of Fallen Destiny burning through them. Fern now with the Kitsune Rush. Going to be hoping that Vivacity can get some value out of this. Temper has their ult, but doesn't need it as they already take down Risk. Now taking down Ginger Rayfell. Makoto cleaning up onto Bron James. AJMR coming in gets cleaned up as well. And finally Vivacity somewhat stabilizing on this map. Okay, and here we go with the next engage. Temper still with our online. Axe with theirs as well. Vivacity being very cautious, knowledgeable of that Risk TP online. Damage comes in. People are low, but it's matched by a beat. No support ults to match it from Vivacity. Makoto does have their ult, however. And they're able to take down 2, but Risk still alive, still pummeling damage into Axe. Still with AJMR there to keep them up. Now Care with their ult as well. Going to be trying to deal with Temper on that recontest. Beat invested, but again, just a little late. Doesn't manage to keep Temper alive. Fern dropping as well. And so Fallen Destiny with just under a minute on the time bank. Able to get their full cap underway.
0 to 3. Switching sides.
Setting up Vivacity with very much a challenge here. Vivacity will now at least have to match that, and will be looking to try and do so with over a minute on the time bank.
Ready for battle.
Which is obviously much more easily said than done. Gonna pretend I didn't see that there. Not that it makes much of a difference, but just, you know, some slight issues there with that rollout. So let's see, what can Vivacity do to figure out how to break down what Fallen Destiny are running here on this map. Makoto still on the Vendetta. Temper now on the Venture as they ended that last fight. Morlock also on the Juno here. We did see that in the last map, but potentially not something we would expect quite yet. Axe already finding Bron James. Temper finds Risk. Makoto able to take aggression off the back of that. Does get taken down, but it enables enough space for the rest of Vivacity to take down Ginger Rayfell, denying the tank stabilization for Fallen Destiny. Temper finds AJMR and forces the TP out. So Vivacity able to take first point in a single fight as well here. Showing a slightly different comp with this hazard play. Temper now rotating in from that backline, looking to try and punish Risk on this off angle as we see everyone fighting in the room. Ginger Rayfell and Risk able to take down 2, but Axe and Temper taking down 3. Risk able to find that death kill with the turrets on to Temper. AJMR just about able to survive, meaning Fallen Destiny do hold on to the point here. Axe putting in work on the hazard and very close to their ult already. Risk swapping to the Pharah early here. So no more Symmetra TPs to worry about. So we wait to see what Vivacity can do on this engage. Stun comes in. Axe jumping out. Now the re-engage off the back of Care. Able to take down Temper. Axe opting for the disengage. Now the ult comes in. It captures Ginger Rayfell, but they pop the ult that takes down Makoto already. Axe did find a kill onto Risk, but is now stunned. TP in from Fern. Able to keep their tank alive with help from Morlock. Fallen Destiny still able to hold this high ground. Vivacity not getting as much card progression out of this as they would potentially like. Axel with that first kill onto Risk once again. There is the Kitsune Rush invested. Temper looking to try and flip map. Be invested as well. Makoto and Morlock dropping to that. Axe low. Gonna have to try and get the disengage here. Temper and Fern somewhat stuck in the backline. Temper does take down Bron James, but Risk and Care combining to take them out. Meaning Vivacity somewhat stalling here on second point. Fallen Destiny able to lock it down and still have that Care Emre ult online. Fern though finds Bron James with a nice kunai headshot. Vivacity now looking to collapse onto AJMR as well, so both supports down means Ginger Rayfell the tank not much longer for this world. They're going to back out. Risk does drop Care, opting to keep their life here on the disengage. Looking to play around their team's engages. Temper does have their Emre ult online as well here, and now we see the engage come out. They're going to look to try and deny the shield from Ginger Rayfell and deny the retouch. Just pump enough damage out that Fallen Destiny cannot think about retouching here. They're going to get in late. Bron James dies though, so no retouch. Vivacity able to finally capture second, giving themselves 4 minutes on the time bank. Axe still going aggressive here. Temper finds Risk. Ginger Rayfell drops to Axe. AJMR locked in a room, not able to TP out. So that means Vivacity still winning fights here. Even some of these scrappier ones able to keep pushing point. Unfortunately, Temper does drop. Makoto has swapped over to the Tracer. Here is playing around point. We do have the Axe and Morlock ults online, but it's going to be matched by a lot of ults. There's the early ult from Ginger Rayfell. Care pop theirs as well. Axe takes down Risk as the initiator here. Temper is low. Risk not sure what they got stuck on. Axe able to find Ginger Rayfell locked away there, pinning them down and continuing the aggression onto Care. So Vivacity winning yet another fight. Risk does have their ult. AJMR has the Kitsune Rush, but it will likely get matched by Fern. Gonna have to try and deny the damage from Risk primarily, and not let Bron James do too much of that beat. There's the early barrage. It does take down Axe, not able to escape. Kitsune Rush match mirrored by both teams. Morlock finds Risk, but it's all Fallen Destiny in that kill feed otherwise. And they do manage to lock down before Vivacity can get the full cap here. No ults online for either team. Risk swapping to the Torb. Makoto swapping back to the Vendetta does mean they won't have their ult. Axe on the Zarya to deal with the Diva swap from Ginger. You see Temper going for the poke. Here is the engage from the Vendetta of Makoto. Clean disengage as well after enabling some space. Risk is low. AJMR forced to TP out after the engage from Makoto. Now we see the Diva engage into the backline. Beat out. Hits 4. Care the only one not captured. Temper does have the Emre ult online. Dealing a lot of damage but no kills out of it. There we go. Makoto and Morlock able to clean up those kills. Care coming in but taken down. AJMR last alive on the objective. Bron James at some point will have to look for the contest, but there is all of Vivacity there to take them down. And they do so. And then cap just over a minute on the clock. So Vivacity with an 18-second advantage here as we head into overtime. I wouldn't call that convincing, but a lead is a lead nonetheless. 18 seconds could prove pivotal. There's a lot you could do with that in an Overwatch game.
Ready for battle.
And it does also mean Vivacity defending first with that higher time bank will likely be able to set themselves up with the golden box of victory. Fallen Destiny, however, still looking to be that the Symmetra Domina comp will be what they favor here on attack. I mean, it worked for them on their initial attack, so why would you expect them to change? Quick TP to cover some space and get them towards point faster. Axe already getting burnt low, but Temper takes down Risk. That's that TP out for the next engage. Care low, but Makoto not going to overextend to clean that kill up. Vivacity already burning 30 seconds off of Fallen Destiny's time bank as Bron James has to carry Risk back into the fight. Already low again is the Symmetra. Now looking for the engage. They get the TP up towards Temper. It's low. It's only the supports that opt to go through, but it is enough to zone Temper off of that initial position. Now Risk TPing in to join them. Is low. Makoto does get that pick, but Risk trades it. Temper finds Bron James though. Point being captured. Care getting ran down. Vivacity giving up a lot of capture percentage here. Axe does take down AJMR and Care. Now Temper dealing with Ginger Ray fell on point. Bron James is going to be back in time to get the contest. Risk trying to get back as well. Vivacity able to clean it up, and so it's 2 ticks on the capture point. That is all Vivacity need to win this second point. Oh, sorry, to win this second map here on Midtown. So, not so much a golden box of victory, but the golden ticks of victory. 2 needed here for Vivacity to pull out with a 2-0 lead on the season. They have a minute 18 in which to do so. They did full cap first point in the first fight of their initial attack. So, still things looking promising here for Vivacity. Ginger Rayfell once more on the Domina here. Care still on the Emre. Risk, though, something different for Fallen Destiny. Risk here on the Venture. Will be interesting to see what the survivability of the Flex DPS can add for Fallen Destiny's. Care opting to take the same position that we saw Temper hold on Vivacity's defense. So Temper on that Venture themselves, still running the same comp that they started off with on their last attack. Makoto getting poked out on the Vendetta. Temper looking to poke into that backline. Going to be on point to deal with AJMR. Now going up to try and harass Care. AJMR TP's in to help them out. Makoto takes down Risk, though. So both Ventures getting traded here. As we see Makoto going in to harass Care. He's going to get forced low. Going to have to try and survive. Fern going in to meet them, but Axe joins them as well. Takes down Bron James. Care and AJMR low in the room with Axe, who takes down two more. Ginger Rayfell low. Risk now looking to try and contest on point on that Venture. Is going to have to dig up. Ginger Rayfell looking to go back to help get some sustain, some healing from their team for this recontest. Now, we see Temper coming back on the Tracer, able to get that kill on the Risk. Axe low on point, trying to deal with the rest of the Fallen Destiny roster. Not able to capture HMR, but no one knows. They do get Bron James, though, and Ginger Rayfell falling in the meantime. HMR now with a retouch, dead. Care looking to stall. Does get taken down. Risk now stalling, but no mobility left. And there we go. Vivacity able to pull it out. 4-2-3 in the end. Going all the way to that overtime. But it doesn't matter. They win. Axe here. Yeah, Thanos jumps up, gets that initial kill onto Bron James, then locks two people in a room, just blocks them to death here. Axe pumping out the damage brilliantly on, even with the Malga denied, proving that they are an ever efficient tank player, proving they're a specialist, not a one trick. They are still proficient on many of the other tanks. Mello, thank you for joining us and shouting out your friend Morlock, our wonderful main support player. Once again, from everyone at Vivacity, we thank you all for joining us on our broadcasts as we follow along with our flagship Masters Division team. And we remind you that if you like coverage like this, to follow us on all social medias so that I can make our lovely social media manager CK Pineapple happy. That is at VivacityOW on Twitter, otherwise known as X. That is Vivacity_esports on YouTube for all of the VODs if you would like to watch them all, previous matches, or just at your own leisurely pace over there on YouTube. Also in 1080p 60 FPS. And follow us here, of course, on the Vivacity Esports Twitch channel, where we will be covering every match of our Masters Division team this season, and matches hopefully in the future with our other broadcast crew of some of our lower division expert and advanced rosters. Emmy is okay. Indeed, Vivacity on top 2-0 on the series so far. Did just have an issue. Hold on. Just trying to fix something. Bear with me one moment. Oop. Right. So, for our third and potentially final map, we will be heading to Atlas. That is a map pick by Fallen Destiny once again. This time, Fallen Destiny opting to ban Ramatra here on Atlas. Vivacity, interestingly, opting to pull out the retaliatory Kiriko ban. Now, I fully trust our team and their management and coaching. I am curious on that ban. Fern putting out so much value on the Kiriko already. I am intrigued as to why they would ban it, but nevertheless, Vivacity looking to try and pull out the 3-0 sweep and keep their position atop Masters Division. Are going to be looking to do so with their Mauga comp, but Fern, interestingly, here on the Mizuki. Ejimar already low, as well as Bron James, who's also on the Mizuki. Mizuki from Fern, first to drop, but Makoto takes down Bron James. Ejimar had fallen to Temper. Ginger Rayful does take down Morlock, so both supports down for both teams. Morlock going to be the last one back, but Vivacity do get that first capture. So we see Temper looking to harass from the back line. Engaging now along with the rest of their team. Takes down 2 with that dig axe. And Makoto able to put in enough damage there. They also clean up onto Ginger. They're going to look to clean up on AJ Mara as well. And they do just that. Now going even more aggressive. Trying to get the Mizuki of Bron James. Although Ginger Rayfell able to get that bubble in on time to keep their support player alive. Can Vivacity get another pincer engage like that? Temper already in the backline, already being a nuisance here underneath. Does go in, gets that dig. No huge damage this time, but Makoto cleans it up onto Bron James. Pip does trade Fern, and Risk takes down Axe. Meaning Vivacity are down their tank. Pip losing that duel to Temper though, and Morlock able to sustain on point. Get it to overtime for Vivacity with no ults yet invested from either side. Temper, though, going to have to be careful. Needs to make sure they get out of here alive as Axe now with the re-engage. Gets the cage off to capture Risk inside. The Mizuki not enough. Temper now investing their ult as well as Axe finds AJMR. They're going to try and take down Ginger Rayfell. Now they're going to look for Pit. Bron James, the last alive on point. And Vivacity clean that up. Does mean they will be able to capture the first point here on Atlas and start working their way towards this clean sweep on the series. And see, Makoto, the only one actively with an ult for Vivacity. Morlock and Fern, relatively close to their support ults. Now we see this ult online, takes down AJMR. Temper did get traded initially, though, on their engage. So Vivacity ending up even here. Now the re-engage from Makoto gets hit with the grab. Axe takes down Bron James in the Mizuki ult in the meantime. Fern, though, not able to survive in their ult. Morlock drops as well, and well, Temper gets an exit frag, so the fight's still not quite over. Is Temper opting to stall out on point? And finally, Fallen Destiny secure that win and secure that fight. Morlock doesn't like it, therefore it's a useless character. Yes, but Fern does play it, and Fern, I would say, plays it quite well. Let's see, what can Morlock do here? Does have that orbital laser online. Risk already popping the Bastion ult. There is the orbital laser now on point. Ult from Pip as well. Only gives away their position. Doesn't get the kill they would have been looking for. Has to run away. Emperor finds AJMR. Risk comes back though with a kill onto Makoto. Axe finds Ginger Ray fell. Now goes in to try and take down Risk and is able to do just that. Meaning Vivacity get that point flip. Pip trying to escape from the back line. Has the block online but is low. Trying to get back to their Mizuki. And only ending up with both of them dead in a bit of a stagger here. Risk has swapped to the Reaper guy. As anyone who follows the Vivacity roster will know, we have a bit of a Reaper specialist ourselves. Marcus currently sat on the bench waiting. Gonna look to try and get pumping some damage in here on Axe. The cage captures Risk. Temper takes down Bron James, and the rest of Fallen Destiny low there. Pip with an exit frag onto Morlock, but looking at what's going on. Ooh, able to take down Fern as well. So Pip actually getting some good value here at the end of that fight for Fallen Destiny. Taking down both of the supports for Vivacity, meaning as we get close to the capture of this second point, it is Fallen Destiny with the advantage. Temper investing their ult here, but not going to get too much value out of it with their team kind of backed away and Makoto dropping early. Meaning Fallen Destiny do recapture second point here. They do nearly have AJMR's ult online as well as Ginger Ray fell. The engage now from Vivacity looking to try and burn through Risk, and they do just that. The orbital cannon comes out, but AJMR is already low. Mizuki ult on point, trying to deny the value from the grab, but Pip has the ult, does take down Morlock and Fern. Axe trades them, but it's in the end it is the grab value from Ginger Rayfell able to burn through. They only have Bron James with them to keep themselves alive, but with Risk coming back in, Vivacity do opt to reset and relinquish second point to Fallen Destiny. Unfortunate there to not quite clean up enough in that fight. The huge damage coming out from the Grav Vendetta combo as well. Makoto does now have their own Vendetta ult to retaliate. Ginger Rayfell is low already. Beat engaged to sustain from AJMR. Now the ult Temper on the Bastion takes down AJMR. Pip trades for a kill onto Fern though, so a like-for-like support trade there in the backlines. Axe with the cage traps Risk, who then pops a Death Blossom Lay and dies. Bron James is captured in it, so is Pip. Ginger Rayfell will soon fall as well. Lot of investment there from both sides, but it is Vivacity coming out on top here on the third point. Now, can Vivacity sustain here? Bastion out nearly online already from Temper. They get damage in on Pip, immediately drops them down. Now into the turret form to try and burn through Risk and the rest of Fallen Destiny. Able to take down Bron James. Risk is low. Temper takes them down. Fern cleaning up that damage onto Ginger Rayfell. HMR cleaned up as well. Vivacity now over 70% on the point capture and still with the Bastion ult online. Now investing it early, looking to zone them off. Scout where the engage is coming from. Get some damage in as well. Ooh, where am I? Spectating Makoto with the 2 kills. Risk does trade Fern, but Temper burns through them. Ginger Rayfell not really able to get much space there. And there we go. Vivacity cleaning it up on 3rd point. Able to put themselves in a match point scenario here. Axe and Makoto nearly with their ults online for Vivacity. But it will be matched. Ginger Rayfell very close to that grab. And AJMR with the orbital laser online. There is the orbital laser, but the damage in already from Morlock and Makoto following up there. Axe early engage. Ginger Rayfell does find Fern. Makoto finds Pip though. So it is still Vivacity up by 1. Ginger Rayfell though finding Temper makes that even. There's the grab and the beat investment from Fallen Destiny. Axe just going to be looking to try and sustain and stall out here with the help of Morlock. Fallen Destiny do capture that point, but they used 3 ults to do so. And Vivacity nearly with all 5 online, only having to deal with the Vendetta ult from Pip in this fight. And they capture Pip in the Malga cage early. Bubbles used. Bron James is low. They're the first to drop. There's the ult from Morlock to add the sustain to Vivacity. Pip pops their ult. Doesn't get any kills. Ginger Rayfell is low. Risk does trade Temper. Axe finds Risk though. Fern gonna get captured in this backline. Both teams trading. Makoto looking for the flip. Now gonna try and deal with Bron James, who's come out to contest. Morlock in the meantime taking down Pip. HMR looking to try and deal with their Juno counterpart, but Temper comes back in, gets that kill, and finds AJMR. So Vivacity got the point flip, and in that long drawn out fight, win as well. Morlock will be the last member back for Vivacity. So once again, Makoto has their ult online. Risk popping the early Bastion ult, trying to get some zoning. Pip bubbled in on that engage early, forced dangerously low and opts to back out. Mizuki ult invested early from Fern. Now we see the ult from Makoto up in the skies. Doesn't get the damage they're looking for. Fern trading that kill onto Risk that Risk had found onto Temper. Now HMR with their Juno ult online, having to try and deal with Axe. Makoto not able to get the damage in the backline. Morlock and Axe now going to be doing nothing but stalling. Axe though with an exit frag onto AJMR. Not too bad. 96% point capture for Vivacity. If they can get back in time. Bron James has left to go and pick up AJMR. So Vivacity will have to try and get on 2 point and win it while dealing with the grab from Ginger Rayfell. Temper is on the Tracer. There's the touch from Axe and Makoto. Pip now coming in to try and supply some damage. Grav immediately out onto Makoto. Burns them down. Risk pumping damage into Axe. Ginger Rayfell zoning them out. Temper in the backline gets caught out. Morlock finds Pip. Cage used into Ginger Rayfell. Bron James goes in, gets the beat to keep Ginger Rayfell alive. It doesn't get onto anyone else, but it does keep the tank up, which is all they cared about there. They take down Axe as well. Ginger Rayfell, though, the tank dropping. Fern takes them down. Risk punishingly low. AJMR finally able to keep them alive. Morlock, though, with the ult, does keep Makoto alive, but doesn't get what they'd be looking for otherwise. Temper takes down Bron James. Makoto coming in, trying to deal with Risk, is able to do so. Now has to deal with Pip and AJMR. Temper is with them, but not enough to keep their fellow DPS alive. Now the ult from Pip. Temper doesn't hit with that pulse bomb. Pip tries to go in on the backline. Fern takes them out. Axe is now locked on point. They have to try and take down AJMR, Bron James, and Ginger Rayfell. Axe takes them down. Ginger Rayfell now looking to contest on the Diva. Is already half. Bron James is low on Lucio. They find Morlock though. Ginger Rayfell in the backline. Axe takes down Risk. Ginger Rayfell demeched here on the Diva, and Vivacity finally able to capture in that long drawn out fight, meaning they do take the map 3-1, but more importantly they take the series 3-0 and maintain their position atop Masters Division. Pretty good here from Vivacity. So 3-0 on the night here. From our Vivacity roster. They will surely be happy about that. And that does move them to 7-1 in Masters Division. Other than that game against Kintsugi that was very close, we couldn't really ask for more from our team here. Absolutely amazing. Do believe that will have kept them atop Masters Division. Let's have a quick look here to see. Where does that place our team? Actually, let's have a quick look at the scoreboards first. See who we think deserves player of the match. I think Temper popping off there on the first map along with Axe. Axe absolutely obliterating on the second map. And doing so on the I think that's got to be player of the match to Axe here. After an incredible tank performance. Temper very close behind them, getting some huge pickup plays for Axe. Even off the back of the Malga ban on Midtown, still able to pop off. Let's look at where that puts them in the season standings. It does have Vivacity now 7-1, firmly in first position. There are still two undefeated teams now. Must mention the Fallen and Amplify. Two teams Vivacity are yet to face, and two teams that are currently 5-0 on the season. Looking dangerous. Dill Ducks, I know, are an upcoming match along with Team Z. So all four of these teams in that 2nd to 5th placement at the moment are teams that Vivacity have to deal with in coming matches. I believe it could even be their next 4 matches. Team Z, Dill Ducks, Fallen, EXN0, and then Amplify. EXN0 who are also near the top end. Literally right here. So all of these teams, this is Vivacity's next 5 matches, are all of these teams. Now they have already beaten Element Normal, they have just beaten Fallen Destiny. Kintsugi are the only team to beat them so far. Everyone else down here are teams that they have beaten. So it is really, it's these teams here. These next 5 matches are going to be the most important regular season matches for Vivacity. So, having said that, I think that means you're going to have to keep tuned in to our next matches. Because every match here in these next 5 matches is against one of these teams in these 5 positions below Vivacity. These are the teams trying to track up and chase behind them. 2 of them being the only remaining undefeated teams of the season in the Fallen and Amplify. So reminder, if you want to keep in touch with the Vivacity roster. If you want to keep up to date with all of these matches, the best way to do that is to follow us on all of our socials. That will be at Vivacity OW on Twitter and X, where we will post any streams and other ways you can keep in touch with the org. That is following us here on our Twitch and keeping notifications on, so you can see every time that we go live. And that is also following us, giving us a subscribe over on YouTube if you are someone that likes to watch back the VODs and reminisce on how well Vivacity has started the season and every other game that the Vivacity org has been able to stream. You can do that. That is at Vivacity_esports on YouTube as well. But most importantly, I would say follow us here and follow us over on our Twitter to keep up to date with this roster. For now, though, thank you for joining us. I'm going to keep this screen here so we can reminisce for just a bit longer. Maybe stop the count here. Let Vivacity maintain their position at the top of Masters Division for now. And while we do that, I'm going to have a quick look to see who is live. And he is. Yes, thank you. Okay, Bullskunk is live. So I'm going to quickly raid Jeff over on Bullskunk, his channel, as he covers matches from all across the divisions of Faceit League. But thank you everyone who joined us for yet another match from our Masters Division roster. Give us a follow and I will see you the next time that Vivacity plays.